If you were asked to think of some bad LEGO Ninjago minifigures, you might have a pretty hard time. Ninjago is known, after all, for its great sets and even greater character designs, but there are some minifigures out there that look less than stellar. So today, after recently looking at the best Ninjago minifigures from each season, we're going to take a look at the worst LEGO Ninjago minifigure from every season. For the sake of fairness, I will not be including any minifigures from magazine polybags or books in this video. With that out of the way, let's go! We'll start off with the pilot season, like every other list that I've ever made. For a quick figure recap, we got Kai, Jay, Cole and Zane in their regular outfits. We also got DX, Kai, Jay, Zane and Cole. We got Nia, Wu in a white outfit as well as a black outfit for him. We got Garmadon, and then we had 8 unique Skulkin, those being Boneseye, Chopov, Fracture, Crazy, Whiplash, Knuckle, Cruncher and Samakai. All of the Skulkin with standard minifig heads kinda look the same, except for some defining parts added. For example, in at least one set each, Fracture has red shoulder pads, Crazy has blue, Boneseye has white, and Chopov has dark grey. Similarly, Cruncher and Whiplash use a larger shoulder pad piece that has dark grey spikes on the former and white spikes on the latter. As well as that, they have unique headgear, like how Crazy has a Jester hat in the Ice Dragon attack set, Chopov has a helmet in the Skull motorbike, and Fracture has a pilot cap in the Lightning Dragon battle and conical hat in the Turbo Shredder. And I should mention that I'm not counting the training dummies as minifigures. So there is 20 different pilot minifigures, not including Skulkin variations, like the aforementioned hats or lack thereof, and also the use of horizontal hand grips as opposed to vertical in some sets. So taking all that into account, I can confidently announce that my least favourite minifigure from the debut Ninjago season is Boneseye. I dislike Boneseye because he is the least interesting of all the Skulkin. He's the only one that never appears with any kind of headgear, and sports only the most basic pieces in the majority of his set appearances, and only has exclusive shoulder pads in his blister pack. So a lot more inferior to his skeletal counterparts. And I dare say this is one of the most boring minifigures on this list, but there are a few coming up that might be worse. Next is Season 1, where we got Lloyd, Kai, Cole, Jay and Zane in their ZX suits. We got Samurai X, Wu, Garmadon, NRG, Kai, Jay, Cole and Zane, Kendo, Kai, Jay, Cole and Zane, and then all the Serpentine, including my man Pythor, as well as Scales, Sithra, Mesmo, Rattler, Fangdom, Fangsui, Snapper, Acidicus, Lazaru, Spitter, Lasher, Scalador, Biter, Snike, and finally the absolute GOAT, Chokun.
Can you create a giant ham sandwich?
I think almost every figure from Season 1 is incredible, and that is mainly due to the N-word, nostalgia. However, there are a few that feel a little less sublime than the rest. The group I'm referring to are the 4 Serpentine figures that lack unique moulded heads: Snapper, Snike, Rattler and Lasher. Out of the 4, Snapper has to be my least favourite. Lasher was a close second because he is all the same colour, but I like his hat/head thing mould a lot more than Snapper and Snike's. And whilst I do appreciate that he's dual coloured, I kinda wish he had red arms like Fangsui. So it's not a horrible minifigure, but like Boneseye, it's kinda just the worst from an amazing bunch. Then in Season 2 we got what I have always dubbed the elemental robes or kimono outfits, for Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane and Lloyd in the LEGO Ninjago Character Encyclopedia 1st edition. We also got Golden Lloyd, a reused Wu, a Stone Army Scout, Swordsman and Warrior, General Kozu and Garmadon. Wu and Garmadon might be some of my least favourites this season, because like I said before, Wu is a reuse and Garmadon is the same as Season 1 but adds the Stone Warrior's mask. But even though they are reuses, they still look cool. So with that said, my least favourite has to be the Stone Scout, who appears in 2 sets. He has a yellow face print on a dark bluish grey body and features a red conical hat, as well as a quiver and a crossbow. The Scout has short legs, which unfortunately means he lacks leg printing. I believe they can print on mini legs now, though I don't think they would print on this figure's legs even if it was made today, because it isn't part of a minifigure series. But yeah, this one is similar to Snapper, where it isn't exactly bad, it's just the worst from a good bunch. But I think the Stone Scout is still better looking than some of the figures coming up. And then we have Season 3, which brought us Techno, Kai, Cole, Jay, Zane and Lloyd, also Stone Armor, Lloyd, Zane, Nia, and later on Kai, Jay and Cole. We also got Evil Wu, Non-Evil Garmadon, Pixel, Dareth, the Overlord, the Overborg, General Cryptor, Mindroid, the Nindroid Drone, and the Nindroid Warrior. As much as I dislike the lack of leg printing on the rebooted Ninja, they are still far from bad, with the amazing new half-mask pieces and all the Ninja's hair finally. I like all of the side character minifigures, and I think the Overlord is phenomenal. I also think the Nindroid masks are awesome on Cryptor and the Nindroid Warriors, so unfortunately that just leaves one figure, the Nindroid Drone. This one was no hard pick, and I think you can see a bit of a pattern forming here. The worst figure from every season tends to be the least detailed villain, and that is kind of just the nature of a list like this. Sorry, but the poor Nindroid Drone really stands no chance next to the cooler Nindroids. Then for Season 4, we got tournament robe versions of Lloyd, Kai, Cole, Jay, and later Zane. We had Zukin or jungle robes for Cole, Kai, Jay, Lloyd, and a titanium suit for Zane. We had a jungle Samurai X version of Nia, and later on a Kabuki version of Nia. We got a new Master Wu exclusive to the first Secret World of the Ninja book. We also got Skylar, another version of non-evil Garmadon, Master Chen, Klaus, Izor, Zugu, Crate, Slevin, Chop, Kapow, Chopray, and Kapowrai, Griffin Turner, Karloff, and all the other elemental masters later on. This might come as a surprise, but my least favourite minifigure from Ninjago Season 4 is not actually one of the generic henchmen, it's Jungle Robe Cole. I've never really liked the way this Cole looks, he looks way too black to me. He's kind of like Cole's ZX outfit, but without the silver highlights that made that one so cool. I just don't really dig the look of this Cole, especially not when compared to the other Jungle Robe Ninja this season. I think his tournament outfit is the superior Season 4 version of him. Then in Season 5 we had Deepstone versions of Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane, Lloyd and Nia, as well as Aijutsu versions of Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane and later on Nia and Lloyd. We got the incredible possessed Lloyd, Morrow, 2 new versions of Wu, Masako finally, a new Dareth, Jesper, Claire, the legendary Postman, Blade Master Bancher, Bowmaster Soul Archer, Scythe Master Gultar, Chainmaster Wraith, Ghost Ninjas Attila, Hackler, Howler, Wu, Ghost Warriors Cowler, Gurkha, Pitch and Whale, and finally Ronin. So quite the plethora of characters this time around, especially on the Ghost side because they're all named. I'd probably have to go with Claire as the worst figure this season, just because she is made of city pieces and isn't that interesting, but the set she appears in, the Temple of Aijutsu, may not even qualify as a possession set depending on who you ask, so I'll pick another figure. With that in mind, the worst figure from this season is predictably one of the generic goons, and I'm inclined to say Cowler is my least favourite just because he has the least amount of interesting pieces. I mean, sure, the conical hat in purple is very nice, and I like the at the time brand new dark blue version of the Half-Mast piece, but I just like all the other Ghost pieces a lot more. So yeah, sorry to any big fans of Cowler out there. Then we had Season 6 where we got the Destiny robes for Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane, Nia and Lloyd. We got a Wu that was only ever so slightly different from the previous season. We also got the aforementioned Tournament Zane and a new exclusive Samurai X suit for Nia, as well as a Prisoner Zane, Captain Soto, a minifigure version of the Giant Stone Warrior which was awesome, this lame prison guard, Echo Zane, Bucko, Squiffy, Clancy, Doubloon, Dogshank, Monkey Wrench, Flintlock, Natakan and 2 unnamed Sky Pirates. This one was definitely going to go to Bucko 100% because of the exact same reasons as almost every other figure so far, but that was before I remembered the Prison Guard figure exists. I feel bad for anyone out there whose favourite Ninjago figure is the Skybound Prison Guard, and I feel sorry for upsetting all 3 of you, but my guy here does not belong in a Ninjago set. He belongs in a LEGO City prison. Why oh why couldn't they have put the Commissioner in instead, a figure we're still missing to this day? Or maybe they could have included the Mechanic instead of making us wait another 5 years. But whenever they include civilian figures like this in Ninjago sets, they just don't stand much of a chance, sadly. Then after that was Day of the Departed, or should I say Day of the Defarted, because it's not very good. Ironically though, it brought us some of the greatest ninja suits ever, for Lloyd, Kai, Cole, Jay, Zane and Nia, and also a very generic suit for Wu. We also got Ronin again, but a brand new version, and we also got new versions of a heap of classic villains like Samakai, Pythor, General Kozu, General Cryptor and Master Chen, as well as Master Yang, Aijutsu Lloyd and Nia, Lil Nelson, 2 Ghost students, Izorai, new Nindroid drones, warriors, and new stone scouts and swordsmen, and lastly new versions of Fracture and Crazy, both with new body and face prints, so quite a large variety of figures this wave, and bear in mind that they all appeared across only 6 sets. My least favourite here is surprisingly not any of the generic goons, because I think they all look great this time around with updated printing and all that. It's actually Izorai, due to just how disappointing he was. Izorai is the anachondrified version of Izor, same as how Choprai and Kapowrai were anachondri versions of Chop and Kapow, but something feels missing here, something that is very obvious when you compare it to the other 2 snakified anachondri cultists. He is missing a tail. I mean, I can kind of see why this was done, because the set he came in already included a heap of new prints and pieces for all the Ninja and Master Yang, but they really could have just reused the Anachondro tail from the previous year. Also, comparing him to the show, he is missing his conspicuous mohawk. I can forgive them for not including this as it would have required a new mould, but the inclusion of the tail piece could have gone a long way. Interestingly, this is the second but still not the final snake on this list. Then there's Season 7, generally regarded as one of the less great Ninjago seasons. Here we got new suits for Lloyd, Kai, Cole, Jay, Zane and Nia, the first ever Samurai X suit for Pixel, a very lame Wu who is the same as his Day of the Departed suit, but with a new hat colour. We got Ray and Maya, Kai and Nia's parents. We had a Chronix and Crux, and then Commander Ragmonk, Commander Blunk, General Makia, Rivet, Slackjaw, Tannen, Vermin and a generic Vermillion warrior. Wu is obviously a low point because he is simply a reuse, but ignoring him, most of the other figures here are very good looking. However, there is one that has always looked atrocious to me, and that is General Makia. She reuses the Medusa hairpiece from Minifigure Series 10, recolored exclusively in dark red here. And don't get me wrong, it's a cool piece, but this figure just looks awful. I'm not the biggest fan of dark red on its own. I much prefer it when it's contrasted by other shades of red, like on Kai's outfits, and her face print looks very ugly. That's kind of the point, but still, at least the other Vermillion have cool armor pieces. Makia lacks any type of physical armor despite being a general. I think an exclusive shoulder pad piece could have done a lot. But anyway, let's move on. We'll skip the Ninjago movie and come back to it in part 2, meaning we're now at season 8, Sons of Garmadon. This season we got the resistance suits for Lloyd, Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane and Nia, we got Wu as a baby, a new suit for Samurai X aka Pixel, we got the Jade Princess version of Harumi and Stone Harumi, we also got Mr. E, Kilo, Ultraviolet Hutchins, Luke Cunningham, Chopper Maroon, Mohawk Nails, Skip Vicious, Snake Jaguar, and Spinjitzu Master variants of Lloyd, Kai, Jay, Zane, Cole, and you guessed it, Nia. I have a bit of a problem with the villains this season because most of them are kind of just mix and match variants of each other, which is why Nails is my least favourite minifigure. He is literally just a short version of Chopper Maroon from the Temple of Resurrection. The hairpiece originally from B.A. Baracus and LEGO Dimensions is here in red, which looks fine, and I like the bandit scarf around the neck, but this figure is kind of just lame. I wish they'd put in just a bit more effort into making the Sons of Garmadon bikers unique, but we did get some of the coolest Ninjago characters of all time this season, so I shouldn't be complaining too much. And finally we're at season 9 where we got hunted suits for Kai, Cole, Jay and Zane, and then these Wu crew suits for Lloyd and Nia. We also got Teen Wu and then Teen Wu in dragon armor, as well as flying suits for Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane and Wu. On the villain side we had the Iron Baron, Jet Jack, Daddy No Legs, a play on Daddy Long Legs, Arcade, Heavy Metal, Chew Toy, Muzzle and Skullbreaker, as well as Skylar and finally Harumi in her main evil villain form. My least favourite figure here has to be Daddy No Legs. He may be one of the most unique looking dragon hunters, but that doesn't mean he looks cool. He has white skin like all the other dragon hunters, maybe from being in the sun all the time or they are just wearing excessive amounts of sunscreen, who knows. He reuses Natakan's hairpiece, which I'm not a huge fan of, and he has a strange face print. LEGO seems to love doing these spider-like figures in Ninjago from time to time, see the Overborg Inclusionist, and they're never really my favourite kind of figures. But having said all that, this figure still has one thing going for it, its wackiness. And that concludes today's video, but before you go, let's play a game. Seeing as this worked so successfully last time, let's do it again. Whoever can correctly guess my least favourite minifigure from the Ninjago movie minifigure series and comment it first, gets pinned and included in part 2. I repeat, my least favourite minifigure from the CMF series. Good luck. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. Leave a like if you enjoyed and let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 soon. That's been all for today folks, have a great day and see you next week.